Happy Wednesday, everybody, and welcome to our live show. I'm so glad we get to jump on and update you as we have some urgent updates indeed, potentially ones that could play out within the next 24 hours. I am coming to you from Cannes in France, in the French Riviera. I'm here for ETHCC, a massive Ethereum event, and I have big news on Ethereum too, from none other than the president of the Ethereum Foundation. Okay, so we have some boots on the ground, inside information. It's phenomenal. I also got to interview the founder of Tezos, which was a chain that was launched in 2017 and got a lot of information on what they're working on and just a lot of news in general to give you on that. So I'll be updating everybody in the Hive on my channel within the Hive so you can stay in the know. And we'll be talking about some of that in today's stream, okay, including some of the tokens that we may be flipping bullish on as we were a little bit bearish on before. So guys, I'm all set for the French Riviera. I have actually feathers on my pink suit and I'm really enjoying here. It's great to be able to do this because you really get to see what's being built in real time. You don't see news on X or rumors about XYZ. You literally hear it from the founder's mouth. Okay, so that is valuable information in alpha that I want to share with you. So yeah, we got to get all of our hivers out to Europe at some point, do a European meetup. I'm based in Spain, so that's something to put on your radar. And that being said, we've had a lot of volatility lately, up, down. Are we still at war with Iran or conflict or whatever you want to call it? Trump comes out, says he wants a ceasefire, says maybe the troops could go home within weeks, but they could come back. All kinds of stuff going on here. Is this all part of the art of the deal for Trump? What are the objectives here? I mean, it's sort of hard to tell. We've had a lot of up and downs of the stock market, but just yesterday, the S&P rose 2.5% after the Iranian president said he was ready to end the war, but wants guarantees. So it's just a lot of negotiation tactics and power wielding. So, you know, we're not in the clear yet, but the markets seem to be rebounding on that news. I've also had the chance to talk to very big quant firms and data analytics firms that are ahead of the curve because they see all of the data that's come out on the blockchain. So we had some interesting podcasts about that, including one of the lead oracles. So we always talk about oracles and we think number one Chainlink, right? It's the number one oracle in the world. But I actually got to speak to the third largest oracle in the world. They actually have a token out there too. And they're doing some pretty incredible things. And one of their main clients is Hyperliquid. That token is called Red. The team is called Redstone. So I got a lot of alpha for you. I'm just saying it's great to be able to travel to these events. And oh, okay, I see I am in Web3. We'll be going to Bitcoin Vegas. I will be there. And I'm going to do some big interviews in Bitcoin Vegas. So guys, who here wants to do a Hive trading championship, I don't know, meetup in Vegas? Let us know. I will also be in Miami. We can make that happen too for consensus. Let us know if you guys want to have an in-person meetup and maybe some sort of seminar or trading competition. I'm organizing a lot of those lately as well. So yes, in Miami, right after Bitcoin Vegas, it's called Consensus. That's May 5th to 7th. That's a massive conference. They're all going to be phenomenal. So Jeannie, shout out to you, the real one, tuning in right on time as always. I really love your enthusiasm. In fact, I just have to shout you out a little bit more. Jeannie, you have been crushing it. You've been doing phenomenal. It's a real inspiration, especially to women who are intimidated to step into the space to learn how to trade. You know, it's heavily male dominant, but we have a great group going on. And Jeannie, congrats to you. You've been crushing it in the group lately. And thank you. I like to dress my best when I'm here at these conferences. So yeah, Vegas is only a 4-hour drive. Okay, where are you based, Jeannie? So 4 hours is my drive when I was living in California. I'm from California, near LA. So 4-hour drive. I mean, yeah, guys, should we get this Vegas meetup together? Should we do it? If so, let us know. You got to jump in the group. We do have the group on Patreon now. The link is in the description below. So you can sign up to the Hive group on Patreon, which is much more simple and easier. And also our indicator, the Hive Apex indicator, which has absolutely been crushing the setups lately. We're going to go over that in a tutorial for that in the group right now. Oh, you're in Phoenix. Okay. And yes, Rob is a phenomenal mentor, guys. I mean, anything you want to do, you can accomplish if you just set your mind to it, especially with trading and especially when you have such good mentors. Mentors are everything. All right. Also, I learned a lot about great places to stake. For liquid staking, for Ethereum, and also for borrowing and lending. I know a lot of members have been asking about that. How do we get yield in a safe way or the safest way possible, right? Nothing is risk-free. What are the companies that we use? How does this work? How does it work if we want to take a loan out against our Bitcoin, but still hold the underlying asset? this is the way we're going to live. I mean, think about how wealthy people live. They always take out loans against their assets, equities, things like that. Well, when Bitcoin starts to hit these bigger numbers, like 500,000, a million one day, the theory is that you could live off a very small percentage of that yearly and just keep taking loans out against it as the asset continues to mature and become eventually the world reserve currency, right? That's like the end game. But so in preparing to do so, you can figure out how to live within that kind of world and navigate that, because you have access to an asset that still hasn't hit mass adoption, and you have a great opportunity. In fact, today, I actually have to tell you about this. I posted this in the group as well. Let's see here, crypto news. So it was just today is the day that 13 years ago today, Bitcoin reached $100 for the first time. Phenomenal, phenomenal. Yes. And Jeannie, yeah, you have mentors. You definitely do. You're in the right place at the right time. And all of you who are watching the show are in the right place at the right time. In fact, let's call on one of those mentors now. Rob, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just hanging out here. Kids are out of the house for a few hours, so getting a little bit of free time finally.
All right. All right. And in Rob's free time, he doesn't sleep, he doesn't eat, he trades. Rob's been absolutely crushing it on scalp trades lately with high leverage. We are going to talk a little bit about that right now. As you know, it's not easy to be able to get those kind of setups out to the group, but once you start to master these techniques, you get the indicator, you can definitely replicate what he's doing and learn how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, scalp trades are very challenging to call. Like I like calling out day trades, swing trades, and just a directional kind of there. So once you start learning how to trade, so once you start getting those ideas in your head, you can get kind of better at doing that one. But scalp trading is one of those ones where it's like, I'm going to scalp this token, but actually call out the call for entries and take profits is almost very challenging, because they're so fast paced sometimes. Where like the scalp trades I was doing last night were 5 minutes per trade. So I was trading momentum. So I had to be in and out of the trade within 5 minutes. So right now I'm taking the indicator that we already have out. I'm going to be using that to help us to scalp trade, maybe make a modified one just for scalping, or add something to it just for scalping. So I'm in the process of doing that as of right now. So very exciting. And of course, I'm back testing it. And the best way for me, I could back test it, see what the drawdown is, use my back testing equipment, get the idea of where it's at, and then actually implement it into real life with my own capital to see how well I can do with it. Because if I can't do well with it, then I can't teach it. You know what I mean? Right. So one of the things where I have to back test it personally myself with my own capital to see how it does mentally as well too, how it makes you feel mentally when you're taking a trade, not taking a trade. Because I don't care how much you put any system or indicator into back testing equipment and how long and what the numbers say on it. If you can't emotionally connect with an indicator of taking the trades or the entries on it, a lot of times you won't do well, because it's not mentally connecting to you, and you'll do worse off like that. So you have to have like a clear way of like how it kind of works to buy and sell or whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, Almanim, I didn't see you up there, but shout out to you. You tuned in right on time. You're early today, not missing out on anything. Guys, you're such winners. Like, this is winner mentality. I always think about it, when I go to events and I see the way different people move and the way they apply themselves. And like, if you got that winning mentality, it's just so noticeable. And I really like that. I really like the edge there and the will to like push forward with this. That's very cool. So shout out to you guys for tuning in today. And Rob, what do you say we pull up some of the charts? We take a look at Bitcoin. So basically the premise was that the last time this Bitcoin bear flag took about 55 days before it broke down, and we're right at day 54.
Yeah, so right now, Bitcoin's at a very important time era right now. I'm not going to say important. It is at an important level. It's always at an important level, it seems like. Like, if you watch any YouTube video, it's always, Bitcoin's at a critical level. Bitcoin's at a critical level. It's always at a critical level for going higher or lower. That's not a lie. That's always at a core support or a core resistance that has to break. It has to break the SMA 50. It has to, if it gets rejected at the SMA 50 one day, that's our pivot point right now. But right now, time-wise, I think we're at a very important time-wise right now, which is even sometimes bigger, because if we are in a bear, let's go and let's go pull my screen while I'm talking.
Let's pull it up. Also, I want to show some of those wins with our indicators. Man, like, it's just been phenomenal. I've been watching as I've been in this event in Cannes. I haven't been able to trade a whole lot myself, but I've been seeing that the Hive is absolutely crushing it, guys. Like, and this is a lot of them. I know a lot of the people posting here have signed up to the indicator. So it's really, really cool to see.
Yeah, so a lot of great wins on it. We had H bar. One of our big wins today was, I only did spot some. I think it was Jeannie that got it on leverage. Was algo. Like, I think I said in group, like I closed all my shorts and I'm looking at H bar and algo's long. And I posted an algo setup in the chat room because I wasn't at my computer at the time to make a good setup, and she nailed it. I opened spot long and we nailed it. And like legitly, we just as a group we killed it, making great gains on it. We made great gains on River as well too, to the upside. One member here said, on top of everything else, is this everything he wrote? Okay. He said 90% out of River. We are about to test the 1-day SMA 9. I didn't have the best entry in time, but he still made great gains basically. Then down in here, he closed his trade completely. He said, on top of everything else, we just hit the top of a trend line of a 15-minute rising channel, expecting some sort of pullback. So I closed the remaining amount. It says 110%. But he said, but I also used $50 USD, made an additional 85. Their math isn't adding, and he said it was enough to pay for the indicator. Basically, he said somewhere in here as well too, which is
so the summary was he made enough money to pay for the indicator for 3 months in that one trade, right?
Yep. So now I think he used the bonus as well too to make the money.
That's right. So listen how great this is. He got the $100 bonus that you get up just for signing up to the group as a new member and a new user on BYDFI. He got that $100 bonus. He used it to trade and then made enough money to pay for the Apex indicator for 3 months. Guys, that is how it's done. This is how you work the system. Take advantage of all of these bones that are getting thrown your way. And yeah, Jeannie says, get in the Hive, people. Rob's call outs are fire. Absolutely. Absolutely. You must be in there.
So one little trick I'm going to give you with him right there. One little trick I'll give you when you get into the Hive. The first thing that you're going to want to do, you're going to want to go to our training area right here for beginners. Right here, we have beginners videos and a little some pamphlets as well too that you could not this one right here. But
no, that's the Hive Trading Academy. It's the one down from there, below beginners, right there.
All right. Yeah. So you want to jump in here. You want to get in here. There's videos in here.
Oh no, it's actually 2 more down.
2 more down. Oh,
there it is. There it is.
So we want to get in here. There's beginner videos here. So he said rising wedge on a triangle. If you don't know what that is, that's perfectly fine. So you're going to get in here, watch these videos here. They're going to help you out with the basics here, what he was talking about. Then you're also going to get a whole trading 50-page PDF that has all that type of stuff in there. So before you go in there and put in fund your account, go in there, watch these videos first. Watch this or get this down here, get the idea of what the main patterns are, trading patterns are, what a breakout is, all that type of stuff. And then you can sit there, get our indicator and use that. Then once you fund your, once you get your account funded with the, in the futures account, you'll get your $100 reward. So make sure you get some trading in before you get the $100 reward. So that way you don't get timed out of it as well too. So
right, because it does disappear within 3 to 6 days, guys. It is it's meant to be used as soon as you get it, basically. So before you fund your account, and when you do so, just remember you have to transfer that to your futures account. Let it sit there for 3 days. You'll get a notification when they've deposited the $100, so you'll know when it hits your account. And if you don't, for whatever reason, you can DM Rob or I. But absolutely, Rob, I agree with you. You studied this. I mean, watch these videos, rewatch them. It's a whole beginner's course, right? Before we drop our masterclass, and also 50-page plus PDF of all of the things that you need to know about trading.
Yep. So that's gonna be all the basic stuff there. We're gonna have more advanced ones coming out here at some point soon. But I just want you guys to be able to take advantage of that $100 once you get in your account. I don't want it to be timed out while you're trying to learn. So learn a little bit first before you fund it, and then boom, get in there. And if you're brand new, make sure you get this stuff understanding there and get the indicator, and you'll be able to nail some great trades, just like he did right there. He used the $100 to go ahead and make another $100, pay for 3 months of an indicator, and not have to worry about anything. Nothing out of his pocket. Pretty awesome, in my opinion.
That's pretty awesome.
Ask for anything better than that.
Oh yeah. So yeah, guys, the link is to the Patreon is in the description below. We have different tiers. You can sign up for the group, you can sign up for the indicator, or you can sign up for both. Right. Yep. So pick the tier that suits you best. And yeah, let's jump right into it as we're at a critical level for Bitcoin. Like Rob said, it always seems to be so. But look, last time we were in the same formation for 55 days. Will history repeat or be close? Tomorrow's day 55. Will we get the crash tomorrow? Will we get the crash this week? Are we getting a crash? Let's have a look.
Yeah. So right now, that's how long this BYDFI took to play out and to get to the top of it. Is whenever we started reversing from the top and we went down. That was the very end of that BYDFI. Then we broke down and had a bearish retest and went down. So it doesn't mean we're going to get the exactly crash rate on 50 days, but it means that this BYDFI is over. So my question is, or we can have something similar where this is our top of, so time-wise, this could be the top of our price action here, right here. We come down here. Right now, we do have a bullish change of character, but this bullish change of character doesn't hold in this falling, in this other falling channel inside our pattern right here. There is a potential chance that we finally do break down and we barrel through retest and we start going down for the next leg down, the potential final leg down on Bitcoin if we do get this. Now, another question is that you can be asking yourself, is the bottom truly in over here? And are we just coming down and we just fill up these order blocks down here and we double bottom, kind of just, we're going to start printing some sort of like wipe off accumulation. So I think that should be also in presence as well too, because there is another chart I'll show you after this here that could be sitting there saying bottom's already in and we should be getting ready to just accumulate and be just day trading until accumulation's over, unless there's some kind of hype. So this, I think we're just at a very pivotal time, important time period at this moment. Now, this bear flag, I'm going to go ahead and delete all this since you guys saw it now. But this bear flag, what I'm kind of using right now is whether we're going to go higher to the back to the top trend line, which would basically be right up to here somewhere, up to one of these levels. Let's go ahead and find my drawing utensil. So if we get up to here, we need to break this orange line, which is the one-day SMA 50. It's just also right in line with the one-day SMA 9 as well, too, if I went to the one-day chart. So we want to see it break up here, and then we'll get up to this area here. The question is, do we get rejected here at this bearish order block? Let's go ahead and look at the volume on that. So there's 34% volume, 11% volume. So I could see us still getting up to this volume. Market makers might want to take out some liquidity first to get up to here before we actually do kind of kill over and come back down and break down. And that would be very nice to see that liquidity taken out. That would get to very good short entries as well too. And maybe play some good longs up to that area. Now we break above that. Say we break above this, come back down, and we keep on holding the one-day SMA 50. We get up there, we kind of get above here, and then we basically like sweep the highs right there, then come low. What we're going to be looking for, because that would be a breaker block if we did that, we would be looking for a new higher low as well too, kind of right in line with all of this right here. Of course, my trend lines are going to be kind of off. Ooh, maybe not. I did the right one. So we will be looking for some sort of higher low then potentially to get back down to here, and we'd be looking for a new uptrend, because that means what's happening there is we're getting people to buy in higher every time and sell higher. So it means we're starting some sort of uptrend. So it's going to be, we are at a very critical time here to see what's going to happen next. I also have some other theories as well too that I've been basically working on. Is say the bottom is like, I want to sit there and start putting in the theory just a little bit, but the bottom is potentially in, and say we just run. We do kind of do what we just said. We kind of run up and we get all the way up to this like 786 Fibonacci or 618 for the next 2 months. We just start kind of grinding up a little bit. Let me go ahead and get my drawing tool again. So say we just kind of start, we come back down here, fulfill the bullish change of character. We break up and we start just kind of going sideways, and we just keep on breaking up a little bit. And we spend a little bit of time just trending all the way up this retracement right here. And then by end of April, May, somewhere in this area, we can sit there and we start kind of topping off, maybe wick up a little bit and kind of come back down. This is something you kind of see a lot as well too. And this will just come down not fast, but kind of plays out throughout the summer. We make a giant double bottom. Typically, you'll kind of see it as well too. So there's some idea like, hey, we have a nice like little run before sell in May and go away. And then May comes along, everybody goes away, they go on vacation, and we get kind of a sell-off. We start going down, and all we're doing is making basically a nice accumulation pattern in this zone right here, and that's preparing us for the bottom of altcoin, basically, or the bottom of Bitcoin, saying we potentially are now getting a nice accumulation bottom structure to start the bull run, which whenever I look at it in the 1 month time frame, I think I was looking at it, is telling me, let me go ahead, 1 month. I believe I posted this stuff on group as well too. So 1 month, my indicator is not all the way at the bottom just yet. So it might have some time for moving down, which that tells me that we can get down to that $49,000, which I would love personally, I would love the breakdown. I think the breakdown would be better. I think the breakdown would make us get great entries that I'll be very confident in buying. And I think it'll be a lot easier than an accumulation pattern. So I would love to see that. But this
And
is
that's around that 47 to 49,000 level. And for those who can't see, I believe the 786 is what you're talking about before, that potentially we get a run up to the mid 80,000s.
yep,
And in that scenario that Rob just went over, and a potential double bottom somewhere back around the $60,000 region, right?
yeah,
That's the scenario of we have a run up now, sell in May and go away, and accumulation. So that's that scenario. The other scenario is the breakdown of the bear flag potentially from tomorrow, right? If history is going to repeat, and then we could potentially see that flush down to the $49,000 range.
yes, correct. So that's kind of what we're going after right now. And then I'm going to go into this one monthly chart. This is the good old legendary Stosh RSI here. And the one thing I have this in group as well too already, kind of a little bit more fancier. I delete my charts all the time. But whenever you bottom out on this right here, which we have bottomed out on the Stosh RSI, which is a very big deal because whenever you do bottom out on it at zero, basically, we're at zero, you typically get 300 days or so of this going sideways until we start the uptrend here. So since we're just getting into it, we're looking at 300 days or so being around December.
Interesting.
So,
when an end of accumulation could potentially happen.
yeah, so we can sit there and make some kind of accumulation, wipe off shop area until end of summer. I'll prefer personally. I would rather just get the. I think if we get one more sell off, I think buyers are going to step in and it's going to be huge. And we start taking up a little bit earlier, and we start an uptrend kind of earlier. It makes it kind of easier for trading for the bulls instead of having some accumulation pattern that chops everybody out. And time is typically the worst kind of capitulation for people because you have people who are either waiting to buy or waiting to sell, and time gives near them the opportunity. The time capitulation. So.
Right. Yeah, this is all very exciting. I would also obviously we've made it this far, guys. The breakdown would be such a phenomenal opportunity. I know it would create a lot of fear, but man, we would just get those fire entries. And just a second, Rob's theory about maybe we just have a run up even and then a double bottom. I did do podcasts with some of the bigger data analytics firms, some of the biggest in the world. And all of their sentiment seems to be that according to the data that they have, it's very likely that Bitcoin is going to be stabilized now. Now, that doesn't mean another leg down. That just means that we've reached a stable area of, okay, we've entered accumulation. And if the big data quant firms are seeing that, then that is, also adding to this whole theory and thesis, right, that we could just accumulate for a while.
Yep. And the biggest thing you should be getting out of this right here is the worst stage of the bear market's over potentially. As of right now. I mean, of course, we could be completely wrong, but in our opinion and what the charts are telling us from all the data from those data centers and stuff like that, where the charts telling me, like, whenever you sit there, this is maybe the most simplest chart to understand is the monthly chart. Anytime that you're at the top of a bull market, whenever this is up here, or even up in this area, don't you sit there and ever say, like, right here, man, I wish I would have bought right there. Man, I wish I would have bought right here. Man, I wish I would have bought right in here. I wish I would have just sat there. I wish I would have just bought in this area. I wish I would have just bought in this area. You see how this white line right here is right in the middle, but there's still the one big sell-off afterwards. So even if you just bought and you started just buying the dips after that area here, you're within the next, let's go ahead here. So say you got $1, say you just started playing like a dollar cost averaging type of thing right here. Say your dollar cost, oh, that is not the one I wanted. Let's go ahead and delete that. Why can't I find my delete sign? There it is. Let's go ahead and do a different one that I wanted to do. I wanted to do date and price range. So say like you bought right here, then it had the big dip here. You just kept on scaling in within you just for that whole time period. Within potentially say like 120 days, you're already up 50% profits. Within 181 days, you're 2x and a half profits. Within the next 700 days and the bull market, you're up 1,000%. So.
Wow. I mean, that's not a long time to wait to play out for a successful trade, right?
What's that?
That's not a long time to wait, to patiently wait for those entries to, come to fruition
I'm
and
just
be.
the idea for me, I'm just kind of basically showing is if there's a time to accumulate this is potentially going to be your best time to accumulate for the next 2 years.
Exactly. And that you highly likely you'll be in profits within that time frame.
Yes.
So and also on the rainbow chart, guys, I was looking for you now for it, like just to throw it up, just a lot of macro charts, bigger, more macro charts are showing that, it's a great time to start getting in. Now those charts are very zoomed out and they don't help you or serve you a lot in the interim, but that's why you're in the group, right? But it gives you an idea on a macro scale. Here it is, of just how good of an opportunity this area is. I'm going to throw it up there for you now so you can see. This is where we're at on the rainbow chart. And you can see, like, every time that we've come, we did spend a lot of time in that accumulation zone in 2017 and 2016. But every time that we've come back down into this blue area, it's been sort of a fire sale, right, for Bitcoin.
Yeah, so there's just a lot of data saying that we're getting into that zone here. Now, of course, me as a day trader, I'm not buying just yet because I don't have my as a day trader to buy just yet for even for swing or for even for like a position trade. I don't want to do position trade yet because I need a little bit more signals in lower time frames because I'm
Right.
gonna be holding that for a whole year. The idea right now is anything that you buy for a year, you're going to get a tax discount on because you hold it for longer than a year. So be prepared.
Right.
You got to have that in your conscious as well too. For I'm not very big. I'm not very big. Megan's the one that's big in the long term holding and doing
That's
seasonal
right.
holding, so she's more information that one right there. But I can sit there and say from a chart perspective right now that you are in that time. If you start accumulating, would be you're going into your best time. But be prepared to be able to dollar cost average down at this time. Like
Yes.
my
Well,
one
the thing
my
is
old
that
mentor
rainbow
used to say
chart.
30% dips. You can't handle crypto unless you can't buy 30% dips. Well, that should be set at a certain time in the market. And right now, if you can't like handling 30% dips should be okay in altcoins.
Yes, yes, and I just to second that notion, the rainbow chart and things like that is to help you understand in a bigger perspective, in a big picture thought process where you are. But that doesn't necessarily help you with entries at all because those are big picture charts. That's why it's good to have those for conviction as to where you are at with this asset and with the cycle and with the timing. But yes, the reason you're in this group is because you want to nail those entries, because you want to nail where you scale in at, because you want to be able to hit those levels on those altcoins you've been eyeing. And that's what we're going to help you do, guys. So you've got to join the group if you want to take advantage of this massive opportunity. It really is a huge opportunity. It's the first time I see at events that institutions are stepping in a huge way. We have never had that before. And if this is the first cycle, then imagine the next cycle where actually it's matured and there's more liquidity pouring in. And we have the Clarity Act where there's no more hesitancy or friction for banks to get in. You're in this space before that. So this might be one of the biggest opportunities we ever have in this space, right? Except for the ones that are already passed. This might be the last bigger opportunity to get in at these levels.
Yeah, so I mean, under 100K, I mean, people were loving buying Bitcoin above 100K. Now it's under it, so hopefully they're still loving buying it. But let's go
Right.
ahead and I want to look at Bitcoin one day, and then we're gonna go on to some potential altcoins.
Yes, yes. So, but we're going to also show you how to use the indicator with some of these altcoin charts as well, for those of you who haven't tuned into previous streams so that you can see how it works.
Yes. So what I'm looking right here is Bitcoin one day. So we did flip long in the group. We know those longs because Bitcoin came all the way down in this bullish order block area here. And this is where TA and trend lines can confuse people because right now there's multiple ways you can make the bear flag right now. So you can use closed candle charts, which if you do that right here, closed channel charts are easy to make. You can just go to a line chart. Those are the pivots on the lines are completely closed candles here. We had a bullish change of character right here. Came back down in bullish order block. That's actually a buy zone right here. And we pivot. Perfect. And also too, we flash green on our apex indicator, the Hive apex indicator right here, as it's called, the Hive apex.
Mm-hmm.
So that also, I wanted to see this down more because typically a lot of times you come down to the best times, usually right around the same level on this indicator. So like right here was the best time to buy. Right here was the best time to buy. We haven't got down quite to that level yet, but we could still be in the bearish momentum and this can still go up. And what I'm seeing right now, since we're in bearish momentum, this is what the indicator is telling me and what this is telling me. So we are in the bear flag still. And this is where it can kind of get confusing here, because if you turn this off right here and you got people using wicks, so use this wick here, that wick right here, I'm going right across it, and you go right up to here, and you can see how we are going up into this. We broke down and we were bearishly retesting the trend line that is on wicks, and now we're above it. Now it looks like it's bear trapping. Or was that trend line just not good enough because it was using wicks? We should be using candle body closes on this one here, because the candle body one got respected perfectly with a little liquidity grab, on a wick underneath it, liquidity grab, and held the bullish order block. So right there is where people can kind of get confused. And sometimes I just put both on it, whichever one's looks better or works on whichever one's working with the other strategy, like the breakup structure strategy, is the one I'll use, because then you have confluence with it. Then also too, once we got down here, we started going up a little bit. We got the green buy signal right here, and I'm like, you know what? There's a high probability now we're getting that buy signal here that we potentially go at least some way getting close up to the higher end. Say this holds right here. We hold the 1-day 9. We get above the 50 a little bit here. We may just at least fill up these fair value, these bearish fair value gaps right here. So there's one here and one here. And this would create a potentially lower high in here, a giant lower high in this pattern right here, which I think there's a bullish order block in the 4-hour time frame right here. That'll create a nice lower high here, telling us that that their next move down to this bottom of this bear flag will potentially a breakdown here. Now, when we get up to here, we'll be looking for this, the line right here that's green, to go all the way up to here to 0. So whenever it's underneath 0, that means bearish momentum, but there's also bounces and bearish momentum. So right now what this signals to us is, hey, we have a potential bounce right now, and that bounce might get us all the way up to 0, and then it gets rejected and comes down to this line right here. And once we get down to this line here, hopefully by that time, we'll be already broken. This is already kind of playing out. We already are broken down. Breakdown right here, and then we bearishly retest, and we get our leg down to wherever it goes to, and it's going to probably be lined right up to about this area, right in this area, and we hit in this zone right here is going to be telling us that, hey, we potentially may be in this area right here, where is going to be the phenomenal time to buy in the 1-day time frame. And as you can see, this bear flag that marked the bottom right there.
It nailed the bottom actually of that bear flag. So will it do the same for this current setup?
Yep, and the previous previous bear flag, so we broke down right here. We started printing a bear flag, nailed that one. Let's see here. At that level here. So this one, it did nail. It wasn't bearish momentum right here, but didn't go all the way down the line here. But you kind of look over here, it's even nailing. So you have bottoms of bull flags. It's basically nailing with bullish. So these green dots are bullish divergences. So whenever it got into this area right here, it gave us the bullish divergence signal here, nailing the bottom of a bull flag to basically go long on. Then I had 3 more. Like that was the same level at every single time right here. So it's even nailing those over here in the bull market. So yeah, so basically for the bulls, they want to be looking for the signal to get all the way down here, hold this level, or basically not even hold it. If it goes underneath it, I'll be more willing to buy if it goes even a little bit underneath it. That's going to give us that's going to tell us, like, when it gets down there, you're going to be like, all right, whatever level this is at, it could be 49,000, it could be 55,000. It's going to be sitting there telling you, like, you better be getting ready to buy or start scaling in.
So what I'm hearing is the actual indicator is going to help you know where the relative or near bottom price may be if that happens.
Yes. So that's kind of that's the way we designed it, so that way it can help us get, because even like, so say it gets down to here, even bounce trades, you get some good gains on bounce trades. And when you go into the bullish momentum up above here is typically when you start getting breakouts and such like that. Kind of how we nailed, I believe that's how we nailed Algo if you were watching it in group. Let me go ahead. We're going to go to Algo now. So we're going to jump in some altcoins and how we used it, or how you can use it. So Algo, whenever I looked at it, I noticed that, hey, we are bouncing basically off the bottom range right here. We got close enough, and we could get all the way up back to 0, giving us a good run up. And that's whenever I zoom in. All right, what's what it looks like when I zoom in. So whenever I took entry, let's just go ahead, and we are going to put a trend line here. I saw this trend line right here. we were down in this area here. We were breaking the 1-day SMA 50, which is this orange line right here. So right now, it just seems, for whatever reason, this bear market seems like once a token gets above a 1-day SMA 50, it likes to fly. I don't know why that is. It just does. As you can see, it broke the 1-day SMA 50 and just kept running like hard. So
Right.
it's just something I just noticed for this bear market. Every bear market, you always find something like new. It's just market makers like doing something new every time, just so that way you're always on your toes, always on your
Right.
toes looking for something new. But if you kind of look at this right here, once we broke that area right here, so we were about in this area here when we started taking entry, this flipped to bullish momentum right here. So this means when you get above here, that doesn't mean it's at bottom at this time anymore. So when you're above this area right here, that means you have bullish momentum. So you still have plenty of time. So you mark this top line right here, which we closed trade too as well. I'm actually short algo right now. We got to this bearish order block here, which lined right up with these highs right here. I said I closed trade. I believe everybody else closed trade that was in as well too. I didn't say open up short because I wasn't sure if we should or not. I just did it anyway to see how well it worked. I don't like sitting there. I like having back tests with my own money before I sit there and tell other people to do. I was like, let's see how well this works right now because we actually went above the threshold of almost every other time.
Yeah, I've seen that. Wow.
I think it was like this was maybe the highest. I think maybe so. There's one time over here it went high, the same level. That was this over here, which I didn't see at that time. I just saw on average we went higher on the average length, which
Right.
if you look at this one over here, basically nailed the top over here. So
Yeah, that's phenomenal. Phenomenal.
so knowing that I was in a bearish order block and way up here, and this flashed red on me, so I got in right. I didn't get in at 11 cents. I got in at like 1078, I think. I'll have to sit there and look at my phone, but some rate in that area. So once that flashed red and I saw that wick and we just kissed that bearish order block, I knew that would be a good short entry. So now where am I going to, so the question is now what am I going to do? So I am going to be looking for a bullish retest. I'm going to close on the bullish retest. I'm looking for it to get down to this trend line and for this to basically get all the way back down close to zero as well too before it heads back up again. So as long as it stays above here, that means this breakout in this whole area should stay above this area in the breakout to give a good entry down here. Now, if we lose this area here, there's a potential chance that this might come in and create a or bull trap and then go back down lower to the lows again. But we'll have to see once we get down to this trend line and where this is at, and then we can sit there and make our adjustments there. Now, once it gets down to here and starts going up, kind of like this over in this area right here, as you can see it, you can see on the indicator. Let's go ahead. I'm going to put a line here. And now what we're going to do, we're going to zoom in a little bit on this. So what you can see is it turned red just like it did over here. It came all the way down to neutral, zero, and then it went sideways a little bit, then started pivoting up and turned green, telling, all right, the bullish momentum's staying, and went all the way back up. Now, depending on where it's in the market, as you can see right there, that could have been a great entry. And where would you have had it? How much would you have? Now, it's not now on the bottom over here because this is where you nail the local bottoms, or from the bounce area would have been way back here. But right here, you could take a great entry. And how many gains would you have gotten on that just using the indicator date and time frame? So if you would have took entry right here, in 1 day and 4 hours, you made 12% gains from here to there.
Wow.
So
that's phenomenal. I mean, 10x leverage, that's over 100%.
Yes.
Right. And
so that's not using anything else as well too. So me, I'm a very big Confluence guy. So I think you should at least using some Confluences, which I'm making some other stuff to kind of go with it, or you use my strategies that we already use in group to kind of use as Confluence. Kind of like the member in our, he was in our, what trade was that? I can't remember now off the top of my head, but he saw the rising wedge on it, and we were again on top of the rising wedge, and he closed as long. What was that, River, I think? And
yeah.
So you use the strategy with as well too, and it just helps you secure that entry as well too. Like, is it this trend line or is it that trend line that is it? I don't know which trend line it is, but you know what? Kind of like Bitcoin, I don't know which trend line to use. I'm using the trend line that's going to line up with this right here. All right, so I have two trend lines here. What one do I want to use? All right, whenever the trend line, if I'm buying the bottom of the trend line, I want to know if it's lining up right here or something kind of like right in this area. And that there is going to sit there and say, all right, this trend line, since we're right here on this or right here on this, the most likely this trend line that we're sitting on right now is probably going to be the one that holds as of right now, as it gives it stronger probabilities, and it's going to give you stronger confidence into taking a trade and to execute your trade as well too.
Right. Yeah. So always better with Confluence, obviously, but the indicator does work pretty well on its own. And when paired with all of the things, the basic things that you've learned in the group and the powerful strategies that are taught in the masterclass and the 1-day 9 and, basic trading patterns and things like that, it is very, very effective. So it's meant to help you nail the tops and bottoms, or really very clearly near, as you can see how well it's worked. And yeah, it's just a phenomenal indicator to help guide you through. Especially, the hardest thing is to know the setups to look at, right? Because a lot of people don't have time. Rob is scanning the market constantly and is putting those on your radar. And then you can use your knowledge and this indicator to execute on the rest.
Yeah, I mean that's the one kind of key thing. Like me, like I don't have any secrets on whenever the hell to find tokens. Like I sit there, I have to do my own hard research. I have to sit there, set alerts on stuff, and sometimes I see things and like I think it was Jeannie who caught a couple of the good call outs in group. Like I just saw them, like keep an eye on this token and this token. I'm pretty sure she probably turned the indicator on and used some of the stuff she knew, and she nailed some of those entries just on her own from what she learned here. But we gave her the alert, like take a look at this one. She learned it from what we were taking at, and she just nailed those trades. Very great job. Very proud. Awesome.
Yes, yes, indeed.
Now I'm going to go into, so eventually I'm going to up our scalping call outs in group. And I'm going to, now that I'm using this indicator, I'm now getting an idea of how to use the indicator for scalping as well too. And I might have to redesign it just a little bit. So I'm going to go over a little bit of that as well too. So if anybody who already has it, they can kind of start playing around as well too if they want to. I always suggest whenever you're learning something new, use small capital. But yesterday I'll just go ahead and show in the group here. So where's our chat?
All right. The scalping, the infamous scalping.
Yeah, scalping is one of those things. It's one of the, as a mentor, it's almost, it's very challenging to call out true scalps because they happen quickly and you're in and out. So in order for me to play a scalp and call out scalp and all that type of stuff at the same time is very, very challenging. So like yesterday, here's all my wins on scalps. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I had 3 losses as well too. I didn't post them in here, but overall 13 trades on the same token, Siren. So they're very high leverage scalps, lower capital, of course. But you can sit there and say each of these scalps were 5 minutes long. So 5-minute trade, 5-minute trade, 5-minute trade, 5-minute trade. So
can you click on them so we can see a little bit?
It's because of the privacy settings, it doesn't show.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55. So about 1 hour of scalping, I had about 10 trades of wins. Made some, with small capital, I made some pretty significant gains as well too. Really, really, really fast when we do it right. And it's about understanding momentum a lot, which I'm going to give you getting stuff on that. But as my oscillator is a momentum indicator here, and this is the area that I was scalping in, was this downtrend right here in the 1 minute time frame. So you can see how that whole time, that this in that 1 hour and 3 minutes, as I just counted those times, how many trades I took in that 1 hour time frame, basically, that this was all the way down in the bearish momentum the whole time. Now, what I noticed was on the higher time frames, this broke the 1-day SMA 50, which is way over here. We got bearishly retested it, and we were just dropping. And at high volume was going up in the high time frames, and it was like it was rug pulling. This is Siren. So it's like the whales were finally done with it. They were just rug pulling it. They were just dumping it at this point. And that's whenever I realized the momentum was very strong to the downside. So in order to scalp momentum, you got to make sure that you're trading with the momentum. And what I did is I just zoomed into the 1 hour time frame, and I realized this just flipped right here. So I started taking entries on the 1 hour SMA 9, which I'm going to be remaking the SMA 9 as well too, to make it better for this type of stuff here. But every time I would get a entry of the price action and such would connect with the SMA 9, as you can see, it's like kind of up above it. And what you'll create is fair value gaps. We will go to go into the fair value gaps, and then kind of come like that wick right up there into the SMA 9. And that's whenever you start taking entries, then put like 2 entries above it. And then you would sit there. I would wait for 1, 2, 3 candle closes. Oh, that was probably an entry I took right there. Yeah, I probably took an entry 1, 2, and I probably closed trade right here. So after I take entry, I'll wait for 1, 2, 3 candles, and I'll just close. I'll close my trade. So, and that with high leverage, that was typically I was getting very, very big percentage moves. So
that's on the 1 minute chart.
Yes, this is a 1 minute chart. So that was after 4 minutes of being in the chart. These were 7% moves.
Wow.
So 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and that's right there for a scalp. That's all you need. You don't want to be scalp should be fast in and out. It shouldn't be holding for hours. It's you got some of the volatility on it like this here. Like I said, you got 4 1 minute candles, and you're looking at a 9. That was a 9% move. So that's how you can sit there and see how I was getting such big gains: 300%, 350, 340, 420. That's how I was getting such big percent gains so fast. So each one of those trades were like that. But again, you have to be in that momentum. And every time that happened, you can sit there and see, like when I saw these two green, this is a nice big bearish engulfing candle, came back up, filled the fair value gap, took entry there, and 1, 2, 3, 4 candles. I probably closed right around in here, 8% move.
Boom, guys, boom. And this is a very like short time frame scalping. You can also scalp on the 5 minute and maybe be in for maximum 30, right? But there are different styles and strategies depending on market conditions.
Yeah, so it depends on market conditions, or if you just find the right token with the right momentum. You want to make sure the momentum's strong in the direction that you're trading, up or down, if the momentum and for that day. So the one thing you kind of will learn, which is a little tip for everybody, if the momentum's strong for that day, going to the upside, don't try front running the short until the next day. Same vice versa. If the momentum's strong to the downside, don't try trading the opposite way until the day close.
That's very, very useful advice, guys. I've also encountered this, and Rob and I have been talking, and I'm just almost nailing the short, but it wicks you out by just a little bit. If you had waited till the next day, it would have been a phenomenal trade. So this is a very good piece of advice.
So yeah, it's just one of those type of things here where if you want to learn, if you have to have the indicator, you can sit there and see the bearish momentum and stuff like that. And you like, so I didn't start shorting up here. I started shorting down after we lost this level right here. And I already saw the 9 was already acting as resistance. And it was actually a good one for that. Because there's times where it'll just see down here, it worked well. Right there, it worked well. And there's times where it'll fake out a bunch on you as well, too, when you get into more of a choppy market. But when you start to, all right, it's holding for a little bit here. We're just starting the bearish momentum right there, which I just kind of showed you guys right in this area is where we just started the bearish momentum. And I was like, okay, where does this bearish momentum end? It ends usually right around here. So we're going to get down to this area here. I'm probably going to have to start taking, be a little bit more careful, but you know what? It could kind of go like this and then kind of come back down here. So I was sitting there just putting my indicator to the test. I'm like, you know what? As long as we're underneath the 0, I'm going to keep trading short. And that's what I basically kept doing. Now, let's just go ahead. We'll go in here.
So 0 is the middle line on the indicator, guys. What determines whether in bearish or bullish momentum.
Correct. And also, too, if you're not sure what you can do as well, we have this on. I turn it off because it annoys me, but I think it might help other people. We have a dashboard. You can turn on the dashboard, and it gives you a status bearish. So we'll watch the same change to bullish when it changes. So right here is wherever I started getting a little bit more concerned. So we had a break of structure, and we put in order block. So in my mind, I'm like, at some point, we're going to go up and fill this here. So this is where I start getting a little bit tighter. I'm like, I got a couple more shorts to go through here until we somehow get back up to here. And that's going to be our next big short. As you can see, we did do that because I already had my bear flag there. I was walking. So let's just go ahead and do a little bit of play. So I stopped shorting this token. I opened up a long and got 500% on a long. Right.
Boom. Shorted it all the way down and rode the long, guys.
Right about in this area, right? right here, right where it flipped here. I was like, you know what? This indicator is saying bullish momentum now. And as you can see, you can see how it says bullish on the status now here to the right-hand side. So dashboard goes up, tells you bullish when it goes above the threshold. So that way you kind of know it's above that 0 point. So you can have a dashboard on there as well too. It's not telling you bullish momentum or bearish momentum. And it didn't it wasn't like, I was like, all right, so I did a long up to there. And it's basically what happened was it was making a bear flag and it didn't get all the way up there. So of course I still followed my rules. Once I took entry, 1, 2, 3 candles, I actually closed and it came down to here. And then I opened up another, and this trend line wasn't here at that point because I didn't know it was making a bear flag. But once it kind of came back down to here and started kind of got above the 9 again, I actually did open another long. I did 2 longs on it. So that was this trade here. They were both 424 and another 420% longs. And that was an entry was right here and an entry was right here. That's where I got those here. And then I was like, it's kind of making a bear flag. I'm not sure if it's going to make it all the way up there. Then as soon as it basically confirmed the flip right here, which I can kind of go look at it. Right here is where it confirmed the flip. And it broke down, which I was like, all right. But I was getting tired. It was like midnight, 1 o'clock morning. I was like, I got to wake up with the kids early. I need to go to bed. I need to stop this because I was already in. So one thing when it comes to scalping like this, I suggest to do an hour at a time and then be done. Like right here to right here was 1 hour. So basically you should have like after 1 hour of this, you're going to be mentally exhausted, especially you start using a little bit. So if you're practicing with $2, whatever, you're not going to be really that mentally exhausted. But when you start putting a little bit more money on it, and you start getting, even if you're trading with 100 to 500 bucks with this, or 200 bucks, or 50, like even $50, it turns into a lot of money real fast. But it gets more stressful because it's so fast paced. And if you start putting more capital on it, it's gonna be more mentally stressful, and it's gonna tire you out. I'm just gonna be
Yes,
honest. So you make
absolutely.
when
You
you
don't
get
want to burn out.
yeah. So you're gonna get exhausted here, and once you get that signal to the opposite side, maybe because it's in a more major downtrend, you kind of quit. Because typically, what happen if you sit there and keep trying to trade this here, you're all those gains that you just worked really hard for in this area here, you're gonna give it back. The average trader is going to give it back after that.
Right.
I've done
Right.
it. I still do it to points because you're exhausted. You're like, I'm on a winning streak. I'm not going to lose. I'm doing killing. Then all of a sudden it starts doing some weird stuff, and then boom, you start giving back gains. You're like, what the heck did I do? I spent an hour sitting in the screen making mad money, and now I've only made $200 instead of $2,000.
Right. Yeah. You want to take your wins and run and reset. You don't want to get too burned out, basically.
Yeah, basically. So it's just something fun to do. But also too, like if you do whenever you do buy the indicator and you want to try something like this, just practice a little bit with small amounts, or you just sit there and I remember when I first started leverage trading, I practiced with $1. Like I was,
Right.
I need to get this down. So I didn't want to use fake money. I wanted to use real money and actually see felt what it was like. So I would practice with $1 until I got good. Then I would add $10 to it. And then I started adding 50, then 100, then 1,000. I was like, oh, okay. So just practice with small amounts and work your way up. So that
Right.
way you're getting the emotion down. You're getting the control down. And
Yeah.
there's always another trade. There's always more trade. There's gonna be more of these in here, and there's gonna be some of these going to the upside as well too. So we'll be looking for that as well. I just
Hmm.
thought yesterday when I did this, and it just worked out very extremely well. So I'm gonna be
Right.
back testing this some more, and I'm gonna see if I can get some more like this. And then if it keeps working out this well for me, I'll be doing a training video in group as well too on how to scalp with this indicator. And
Yes.
hopefully by that time I'll have a new something we can put on a chart to help us with scalping as well too.
Right. So you can already use it for scalping, but he's working on a more optimal scalping specific indicator. But as it is, you can already start to experiment and use it for scalping, even on the 1 minute time frame, as you can see. So all of you who want to learn more about scalping, let us know. It's also in the masterclass, dropping imminently now. And guys, the link to this indicator, the Hive Apex, is in the description below. You can buy it on our Patreon, the Hive Patreon, and you can choose whether you want to get in the group to know which call outs to go for, which charts are hot. Rob is constantly updating and helping you in mentoring. If you want the mentoring, then you sign up for the indicator and the Hive trading group on Telegram. Otherwise, you can just buy the indicator on its own. And yeah, it's going to go up in price very, very soon. So take advantage while it is at the current prices. And things are about to heat up. What can I say? And we will be doing a lot more lives inside the group. Maybe we'll be doing some live trading if, conditions permit. And it's going to be really, really awesome soon. So
Christians and kids, those are the two things right now that have to give me a chance.
yes. So guys, potentially we see that, the scenario with Bitcoin. We either going to break down from the bear flag, or maybe we'll see the scenario that Rob pointed out, that we could have a run up, sell in May, go away, maybe come back and double bottom. You have the blueprint now, and you've had it, and we keep updating it as time goes on. Right. So keep an eye on all of that, potentially starting to happen as early as tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I'm looking at Bitcoin in the 1 minute chart, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, maybe we should start trading Bitcoin has a lot of liquidity. You can use
yeah.
higher amounts, probably with like a lot higher capital with Bitcoin. Let's see what kind of moves is this giving in the 1 minute chart. 0.69%. I don't know yet. That's not that's.
It might not be volatile enough yet for that.
Yeah, I want at least 3%, 5% moves for good gains.
Right. And right now that's mainly altcoins. But
Yeah.
let's see what Bitcoin will give us. Will this volatility start to come back into the market as we're reaching these critical levels?
Yeah, so we're just right now we're on our toes for Bitcoin. We're seeing if the 4 hour bullish change of character. Are we in Bitcoin right now? No. So yeah, the key things we get in the group. Are we going to hold the 4 hour bullish change of character down in here and then break out of our falling channel that we're in? I had it made. I think I deleted it in group on the video, of course. So right now, the most important thing is this channel going to break up at some point soon, or I guess that would be the big question. And if so, are we going to come back down and retest the bullish change of character level right here, or are we going to be not breaking up from that channel, and we're going to break down from the high time frame bear flag that everybody's been waiting for this breakdown. Like, I think every trader and every TA that sees this are just like waiting, like they're just waiting for this breakdown of this bear flag to buy lower right here. That's
Right.
one reason I'm kind of scared of the breakdown right now, is because there's too many people waiting for it, to where Bitcoin likes to surprise the average person. But
Right.
also, there's a lot of bulls out there right now saying bottoms in. So
That's true. We've got a lot of both. But wouldn't it be max pain scenario almost if we had that run up to 80 before coming back down to 60K level a little bit later on?
yeah, I would get people to FOMO and the tops, and they'll come back down, and then you'll start getting the guys that sitting there saying it's a bear market rally. I told you so. I told you so. Because if we start running up there, we get up to that 80,000, we get up to this level right here, say 80,000 or so. We do that kind of run up type thing. There are people who are sitting there saying it's just a bear market rally. It's the bear market rally, and they don't take any longs because there's gonna be lots of money. If it goes all the way up there, there's gonna be lots of money to be made on longs. They're gonna miss out on it. And once it starts pulling back down, they're gonna people who sit there and said, oh, they're wrong, or they're gonna flip bullish at the wrong time. Like, oh, maybe if you'll get this right here. So, oh, get up to here. Like, well, if we break this level right here of this level, it's gonna be a bull market, and we're gonna look to buy here. It'll like wick up above it or something like that, and then it'll just fake out on it, and then just kind of come down and be like, oh, it's bullish, and then boom, it just I don't know. I guess I've just seen the scenario so many times where you sit there and nope, it's a bear flag, it's going up, blah blah blah, and you sit there, you'll be getting something like this. You get all the way up to here, which this will kind of match here. It'll go above it. It's breaking above, and it makes like a long wick here. So you'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'll be 5 waves up. That's your 5th wave. Then all of a sudden it kind of fakes out on you. And then boom, this comes straight down. Which, now that I'm kind of looking at this, that could be a fantastic bearish wolf wave. Sorry, I start seeing patterns sometimes.
This is how Rob's brain works. He sees patterns when he starts to talk through the analysis. So this is like one of his strongest points, is being able to understand what the charts are potentially telling us.
3, 4, 5. That would be a great scenario. That would just wreck everybody, in my opinion. Now at this point, I just kind of came to my mind as we were doing this.
Right.
Now I got to make it. So if that kind of scenario happens here, that would be considered potentially a bearish wolf wave, and a take profit on that one here. That's actually a bearish pattern. It's called bearish wolf wave. You put a line right here, and your take profit would be this trend line right here. You connect the pivot 1 and pivot 4, and you make a trend line all the way down to here. So what happens after that is you typically come down, get a little bit of a bounce, and then it just kind of starts coming straight down here and wrecks everybody.
Right. In which case they'd be saying we're going a lot lower, and you see this could wreck people for quite a long time as we chop around like this until the end of the year potentially.
Yeah, so very, very potential scenario that could come out here. So if you don't know what a bearish wolf wave is, you just go to Google, type in bearish wolf wave pattern. Type that in. Let's see here. Where's a nice clean one? There we go. This is a nice one right here. So you can kind of see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have something like that one here. So this one here shows a pretty good wave. So the idea of the bearish wolf wave is that top trend line is you go above it. So that's what makes it. That's where you have to have that one there to make it qualify as a bearish wolf wave, which takes a lot of people out. So you want to sit there and see that go above it. And that a lot of people will happen at that point. They'll say it's breaking above, going against the rising channel probabilities, and it's going to go parabolic is what you're going to hear. Because I've heard that many times, until I was like, all right, every once in a while that does happen. Yes, I've seen rising wedges or rising channels break the upside and things go parabolic. But whenever you have a nice formation like this here, you got to make sure that you count your waves, see where it's kind of at, make sure you're not at wave 5, and make sure that like the most of the time, whenever you get those rising channels that break up, it's a different formation, which I can go over here on as well too, if you want me to, Megan. So let me go ahead and find a Bitcoin chart now. All right, so whenever you start getting a rising wedge that breaks up, typically what you're going to have is some sort of cup, and the rising wedge is going to be on this side here. So whenever you get a cup, typically you get bull flags and a cup pattern formation. And
Right.
these flags, you're typically going to get a rising wedge. I'm not making it perfect, so I'm using a computer to make this, but you're going to get a rising wedge in these flags here. And you're going to see a rising wedge with all these bull flags inside of it and a cup scenario. You're going to have the neckline here. And typically those are the rising wedges that break up because everybody sees the cup and handle or the cup, and that breaks up and you get a parabolic move to the upside. That's typically whenever you get the break to the upside. You don't typically get it whenever it's in a bear flag like this because you don't see a cup formation in this right now. You see more of the traditional bear flag in this area here, this nice trend, not a rounded trend. So
Right.
it's just a different kind of pattern that you have to be kind of looking for these to be breaking to the upside. This here, if it does break the upside, there's a higher probability it's going to be a bearish wolf wave, not a. It doesn't. If it just doesn't look like a cup. It just doesn't. So it doesn't
Right.
have bull flags. It doesn't have any characteristic for that. So, um,
Right.
and then also with this too, you'll be looking for building volume going up as we're going here. Buyers going in there, just some other signals as well too. And you're also probably being a bull market, not a bear market. So that's
That's
a big
right.
difference as well.
That's right. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, you've got to look for all those types of confluence and understand the market that you're in and the trend, the current trend to help you sort of understand that. But that's a higher level analysis, guys. Now you have even a third scenario or just a scenario that makes that mid $80,000 level more real and more potential is, these scenarios where everybody gets faked out and goes long and FOMOs. There are good opportunities, right? Especially good things for market makers to focus on. And we got to have that on our radar. And not a lot of people may be seeing this now. So you've seen it now here in the group. And in order to help you nail that and understand what's happening even more, you definitely should get the Hive Apex indicator, guys. Like that should be a tool in your toolkit, just like we use Lux Algo to see the bullish and bearish order blocks and fair value gaps. The Hive Apex indicator should also be a core part of your strategy now to help you understand where we're at in that momentum and to help you nail the tops and bottoms.
Yep. So yeah, definitely a very, very good thing to have. It's been helping me out a lot. I mean, I had to actually kind of dumb down my analysis just a little bit for me to take entries because Mike is telling me entry. I'm like, well, I kind of wait for this because I look for so much confluence. It's ridiculous. And I'm like, this is telling me to buy. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to trust the indicator I made. And it's like,
Right.
okay, it's playing out. I'm liking it.
Absolutely. So those are the only things that you need right now to be really successful, guys, and just to have the basic strategies down, which we do tutor on and teach on a lot in the course. In fact, I don't know if we'll get into another YouTube live this week. So if you want to have more updates, you've got to be in the group, in the Hive trading group on Telegram. So we may be doing some private lives this week. So stay tuned for that, guys. But otherwise, I think we can wrap that up on this note. You've got a lot of things to study. You might have to go back and watch this. This is a great tutorial. Every YouTube we do now is sort of going to be a tutorial on the indicator because it's now a very big part of our trading strategy. So in order to follow along with that, you've got to get on board the train, guys, and just try it out, get your feet wet. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal tool. Right. So I think we may be back Friday, but otherwise we will be updating you in the group throughout these days. Maybe we'll do a couple of lives in the group. And that's it, guys. Exciting times coming. Let's see which scenario plays out. But no matter what, you'll be prepared for all of them because we've gone over those together. And you guys are the real ones that tune in even during bear market. So on that note, we want to thank everybody for tuning in today. And we will see you again soon.
See you guys in the next live.